Most potato chips in America are not actually made of potatoes, not the way you think. Flip the bag over, read past the word potatoes, and you'll find dehydrated flakes, modified food starch, rice flour, and a slurry of refined oils pressed into a shape that just happens to look like a chip. We spend nearly $11 billion a year on this aisle. $11 billion? And what we're paying for, mostly, is marketing, packaging, and the cheapest cooking oils on the global commodity market. The chip itself, the actual edible object inside the bag, accounts for a shockingly small fraction of what you hand over at the register. I spent 3 weeks auditing every major chip brand on the shelf to find the truth, and the results were not what I expected. 5 of the biggest names in this aisle are running what I can only describe as a logistical magic trick. But 4 brands, including one that costs less than you'd think, are still doing it the old way. Stick around because the winner at the end is the one I now keep in my own pantry. And the kitchen test in the middle of this video will let you audit every bag in your house in under 1 minute. Here's the part the marketing team doesn't want on the front of the bag. To make a real potato chip, you need 3 things: a whole potato, a stable cooking fat, and salt. That's it. That's the entire recipe your grandmother would recognize, and it hasn't changed in over 100 years. But whole potatoes are heavy, they bruise, they rot, and they cost money to ship. So somewhere around the 1960s, the industry figured out a workaround. Dehydrate the potato into a flake, grind the flake into a powder, mix the powder with starch and emulsifiers, press it into a uniform shape, and fry it in whatever oil happens to be cheapest that quarter on the commodities market. The result is a product that ships better, stacks better, and lasts longer on the shelf, but bears almost no relationship to the food it claims to be. That oil is almost never olive oil. It's almost never avocado oil. It is 95% of the time soybean, corn, cottonseed, or sunflower oil, refined, bleached, and deodorized in industrial solvent baths before it ever touches a fryer. These oils cost roughly 1/4 of what a stable cooking fat costs. Multiply that across 1 billion bags a year and you understand exactly why your chips taste the way they taste. This is not a recipe decision. This is a margin decision made in a boardroom, defended by a legal team. Then there's the flavor system. The label says natural flavor. Under FDA rules, those 2 words can hide more than 100 separate compounds. As long as the starting material was once a plant or an animal, it qualifies. It is the single most abused phrase in the American grocery store, and it is the reason a chip can taste like cheddar, sour cream, barbecue, or steak without ever meeting any of those things. The skip list brand number 1, Pringles. Flip the can. The first ingredient is not potato. It's dried potatoes, meaning flakes, followed by vegetable oil, which on most Pringles cans means a blend of corn, cottonseed, soybean, and sunflower depending on supply. Then wheat starch, then rice flour, then maltodextrin. A Pringle is, by weight, closer to a cracker than a chip. That's why they can stack so perfectly. Real sliced potatoes do not stack. The shape itself is the confession. In fact, Pringles fought a legal battle in the United Kingdom years ago, arguing they should not be classified as potato chips at all for tax purposes, and lost. Brand number 2, Lay's Classic. The marketing here is brilliant. Made with 3 ingredients: potatoes, oil, salt. Sounds beautiful. Read the fine print. The oil is sunflower, corn, and/or canola oil. That and/or is doing enormous work. It means the oil in your bag changes depending on which one was cheapest the week it was fried. You are not buying a recipe. You are buying a commodity hedge with a smiling sun on the bag. Lay's parent company, PepsiCo, has been named in multiple consumer class actions over the past decade, challenging natural and no preservatives labeling claims on its snack lines. The lawsuits keep coming. The labels barely change. Brand number 3, Doritos Nacho Cheese. Here's where the audit gets ugly. The ingredient list runs more than 30 items long. Whey, monosodium glutamate, disodium phosphate, disodium inosinate, disodium guanylate, artificial color including yellow 6, yellow 5, and red 40. The cheese, according to the label, is cheddar cheese, which is technically true in the same way that a single drop of lemon juice in a swimming pool makes it lemonade. The flavor you actually taste is engineered in a lab in New Jersey. It has almost nothing to do with a cow. The orange dust on your fingers is not seasoning in any meaningful sense of the word. It is a coating system designed to trigger a craving response, calibrated by sensory scientists. Brand number 4, Cheetos Crunchy. Cheetos contain enriched cornmeal, vegetable oil, whey, cheddar cheese, canola oil, maltodextrin, salt, whey, protein concentrate, monosodium glutamate, artificial color, and the same disodium twins you saw in the Doritos. The orange color you see on your fingers is yellow 6, a petroleum-derived dye that has been banned or warning labeled in several European countries. Frito-Lay sells the exact same product in the United Kingdom without that dye. They reformulate for them. They do not reformulate for us. Read that sentence again. The same company, the same brand, 2 completely different recipes, depending on which government is watching. Brand number 5, Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream. This one is the boldest. The bag says cheddar and sour cream. The ingredient list says cheddar cheese appears after maltodextrin, after salt, after whey, after natural and artificial flavors, and after monosodium glutamate. By federal labeling rules, ingredients are listed in descending order by weight, which means the cheddar cheese in your cheddar and sour cream chips weighs less than the lab-built flavor system designed to taste like it. You are paying premium shelf price for a flavor simulation. The cheddar is there for the front of the bag. The chemistry is there for the inside of it. You don't need a chemistry degree to audit your own pantry. You need a paper napkin. Take 1 chip from any bag. Press it firmly into the center of a clean white napkin and hold it there for 30 seconds. Then lift the chip away and look at what's left behind. A chip fried in a stable cooking fat. Avocado oil, coconut oil, even traditional lard leaves a small, light, almost dry mark. A chip fried in refined seed oils leaves a wide, yellow, translucent grease ring that spreads outward like a stain. The bigger the ring, the more refined oil you are eating per chip. The darker the ring, the more oxidized that oil already is before it ever reaches your mouth. Try this with 2 bags side by side. The visual difference will do more to change your shopping habits than any video on the internet. Then smell the napkin. Fresh fat smells like nothing. Old, oxidized seed oil smells faintly metallic, faintly like crayons, faintly like the inside of an old gym bag. Once you've smelled it, you cannot unsmell it, and you will never look at the chip aisle the same way again. The real list brand number 1, Jackson's. Jackson's was started by a mother whose son had a severe seizure disorder, and she rebuilt his diet from scratch around clean fats. That's the origin story, and it shows up in the bag. The ingredient list is 3 items. Sweet potato, avocado oil, sea salt. That's it. No natural flavors, no maltodextrin, no and/or oil clause. They publish their oil source. They publish their farms. A bag costs roughly $4 to $5, which sounds like a premium until you realize you're getting an actual food instead of a flavor simulation. Compare it to the per ounce cost of a premium Doritos bag, and the math gets uncomfortable for the big brands very fast. Brand number 2, Boulder Canyon Avocado Oil Kettle. Boulder Canyon was one of the first mainstream brands to switch entirely to avocado oil on their core line, and they did it before it was fashionable. 3 ingredients: potatoes, avocado oil, sea salt. Kettle cooked, which means slower frying at lower temperatures, which means less oil oxidation per chip. You can find them in most regular grocery stores for around $3.50 a bag, which makes this the value play of the entire category. If you take one recommendation from this video and put it in your cart this week, make it this one. Brand number 3, C8. C8 was started by a family in Texas as a workaround for a daughter's autoimmune condition. Their chips are built on cassava flour and avocado oil, with no seed oils, no dairy, no gluten, and no artificial flavors of any kind. The sea salt variety is the cleanest: cassava flour, avocado oil, sea salt. Done. Their sourcing pages are public, their certifications are public. They were acquired by a larger company in 2024, so watch the label going forward. Corporate acquisitions have a long history of quietly cheapening recipes once the founders walk away. As of this filming, the formulation is unchanged. Audit it yourself the next time you shop. Brand number 4, Late July Organic Sea Salt. Late July is the one most people overlook. The ingredient list on their classic organic tortilla chips is organic stone ground white corn, organic sunflower or safflower oil, and sea salt. Sunflower and safflower are still seed oils, which is a fair criticism. But the cold-pressed organic versions are nowhere near the refined industrial oils used in mainstream brands, and the rest of the label is genuinely clean. No flavor systems, no dyes, no disodium anything. For a corn chip in a regular grocery store, this is about as honest as it gets, and the price sits within $1 of the mainstream brands sitting 2 shelves away. Here's what the audit shows. The chip aisle is not a food category anymore. It is a commodity flavored delivery system, optimized for shelf life and margin, dressed up in nostalgic packaging your parents trusted. The 5 brands you skip are not bad because some influencer said so. They're bad because the ingredient lists, the lawsuits, and the international reformulations all tell the same story. The company knows, the chemists know, the lawyers know. The only person not told is you, the customer at the register. Your health is not a commodity for these corporations to optimize. You have the right to flip the bag, read the fine print, and walk away. The 4 brands on the real list prove it can still be done, even cheaply, even at scale, even on the same shelf as the worst offenders. Food will tell on itself if you give it the chance. Subscribe for more.